Greetings, friends and fellow orcs. Iagra, the Orcish Fiddler here. You'll have to pardon me. I'm actually still eating dinner, but I wanted to be on time for a stream. I don't know if I can eat this, though. I made the mistake of getting spicy chicken patties, figuring, oh, they'll just be lightly spiced. No, these are spicy. These are some spicy chicken patties. I took one bite and I was like, oh no, I made a mistake. I am feeding myself, but I'm also sweating. It's like, what the heck were they thinking? The meat is colored funny. Like, it's orange from the spicy stuff. I don't know if that's, like, they actually added spice or they just colored the meat. I could have just microwaved it. Then I would have had time. But no, I wanted a crunchy crust, so I did it in the oven. Oh my god, why is this so freaking hot? But how are you doing today, Val? I am sad that I didn't get to watch very much of your stream today. I had so much going on at work today. I might have to watch the VOD. Actually, do you post VODs? Let me check. The VOD will be up for a week? Okay, good. Alright, I might have to check that out then. Oh my gosh, I've got the sniffles, it's so hot. I'm so sorry. Pardon me, one more. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, my jaw's not one. I'm behind on everything. Holy crap. There we go. Turn my jaw on. Oh my god, this is so freaking hot. That's actually raising my temperature, and I forgot to announce stream on Discord. Oh my gosh. I might have to stop eating this sandwich. Oh my god. I don't know if I can keep eating the sandwich. It's mostly you proving to be a poser off-fan and then exploring purified areas. A poser? I must keep eating. God. Okay, let me at least announce that I'm lying. More Chrono Trigger. I'm not even going to be bothering to make something witty or fun, just more Chrono Trigger. More time travel shenanigans. Chrono Trigger. 5, not 1885. Oh my god. Yes. Twitch, not watch. Professional streamer here. Okay. Oh, and it's got my my slight update to my profile picture, which is good. So, for anybody who's like extremely detail oriented, you may notice a very slight change. Oh, please. Okay, good. It's a very slight change in my profile image. No. Where's your self-promo rep? There you are. Okay. Discord, hello? Okay, there we go. I have a very slight change to my thing, so it's facing forward now. And, it's a little bit more, symmetrical. Which I'm very happy about. No, not general. Gosh. Okay, Retro Zone, and Hungry Guerrilla, and then my... I'm, like, so behind on everything and not concentrating, and I'm like... Okay. Stream is announced. We are now live. And I gotta keep eating. I will adhere to your request. Even though you didn't use the snack redeem. There's technically a dinner redeem, not a snack redeem. Oh my god, it's freaking burning my tongue. Oh my god. This is too much heat. What did they freaking add to this? Oh my god. I just gotta push through. Nice, calm, relaxing music. Think of the nice, calm, relaxing music and not the burning pain on my tongue. So I'm glad that you're doing okay, Val. I'm hanging in there. Maybe I should get some milk. What works to help with heat? Why did that add so much heat? Fight the heat. With what? I can't exactly punch my tongue. Oh my god. So if you're wondering, just in case you would like to enjoy this kind of heat, maybe you like heat. You can, but you shouldn't. Okay, then I won't punch my mouth. So I got this at Aldi's. It's their Kirkwood brand. I can't even speak correctly anymore. Oh god, I'm tearing up. This is one of those times where actually being on cam... oh my god. Actually being on cam would give a lot more of the picture. I don't even know if VTuber avatars can do these kinds of expressions. I know my Second Life avatar can't. But, the goal is to eventually get, like, a VTuber avatar that... oh my god, I spoke! I'm sorry that the first, like, 30 minutes of this is gonna be me agonizing over this. But you know what? It'll give people time to filter in. I'm doing great. Thank you, Val. I'm so appreciative of your support. Oh my god. I've still got about a quarter of the sandwich left. But yeah. I've been working on getting some conceptualizations so that I can take it to an artist and get a rigged 3D mesh and maybe some commission reference sheets. So if anybody knows some really good artists for that kind of thing, please let me know. I am terrible at shopping for talent. I promise. I'm not upset about me being bad at shopping for talent. It's just a really hot sandwich. Oh shoot. I forgot to mark that. You might have heard the music and the background doubling. I apologize if it sounded echoey at all. I forgot to move my my mixer board. It wasn't set to the right thing. Which means I could have done echoey things. But it also doubles what's going on my computer. I haven't really fixed my audio yet. Oh my god, it hurts! Oh, the sandwich. I've only got a few bites left. I can do this. I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. Oh my god. But it's not even like bright orange. Usually they color these things bright orange. but it is definitely not chicken flesh colored. Like it is not normal flesh colored. There's definitely something in the meat and in the breading, not just the breading like they usually do these kinds of things, which I was expecting and counting on. Okay. I just, oh man. How do I put the fire out? There was a game theory or a food theory on this at some point, and I don't remember anything. Oh god. I know water is no good. I know water is a terrible idea. Did you know that burning sensation is caused by capsicum? I think that's what it's called. I might be pronouncing it wrong. My mouth is not really easy to use right now. You can Google it. Just Google it. Oh god. Oh. I just got 2 more bites. I might have to go downstairs and get some milk. I think milk is good. I think milk helps. Does anybody remember if milk helps? Oh my god, I'm crying so much right now, it's that hot. Might have to open a window. Okay, milk is good for hot stuff. Okay, good. I'll go downstairs and get myself some milk and I'm here. Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to eat any more of what's in that bag. And I'm going to have to warn my sister not to eat it. I just gotta get through this last little bit. Okay. I'm done eating it. Oh my god. I will be right back. Pardon me just one second. Enjoy the music. The nice, calm, relaxing music that is not anywhere near as calm as my tongue. I'll be right back. Probably should have muted before I stepped out. I'm back. I have chocolate milk now. I gotta add it to my diet tracking. So how is everybody's night going? I hope everything's cool with you. Things are a little heated over here. Thank you for the congratulations on the chocolate milk. I just realized, I think one of the reasons why it's good Wasn't it because of the fat in it? I have skim because I didn't have 2%. There's not much fat in it. And if it's sugar, that helps. There's not that much sugar in it either. I don't know if this is gonna help that much. Oh my gosh. That was a sandwich. That was a sandwich. I'm okay with some heat. I love a good General Tso chicken that balances heat with savory. I have recently become quite fond of Lay's Sweet Southern Heat barbecue chips. That was a little beyond my tolerance level. What were they thinking? Oh my god, there was no warning. It didn't smell like it had a lot of heat to it. Isn't there some kind of warning like that, usually? I guess Capsicum doesn't really have a scent, does it? Oh my gosh, I am so sorry that the first 20 to 30 minutes of my stream was just me agonizing over my sandwich. In the aftermath. Usually people just start coughing when something is too hot. I mean, it caught in my throat wrong a couple of times. But no, that just hit my tongue. Yeah, a couple of times I swallowed and it felt like the heat traveled up instead of down. And that kind of caused me to cough a couple of times. Well, that's 500 milliliters of chocolate milk. Well, 150 of chocolate milk and then 350 of skim. And it's calmed down a little. It's a little better. It's a little better. What am I reaching for my keyboard for? I don't even have Chrono Trigger pulled up on my computer. Okay, now we're in the right window. Oh my goodness. So hi everybody. Welcome to more Chrono Trigger. Where there are no hot sandwiches. There are no hot sandwiches in Chrono Trigger, right? Yeah, there's no hot sandwiches in Chrono Trigger. Okay. Oh boy. I think the rest of that bag is going out to the crows. Because both my sister and I will not be able to eat them. Oh, excuse me. I did not want to burp in everybody's ears. Pardon me, just... Okay, I think I'm done. I might still have some sniffles, so I do apologize for that. Oh my gosh. There's still a little bit of sting on the side of my tongue. Oh my gosh, that was an unpleasant experience. Well, when we last left the party, things happened. Yeah, prehistoric times, defeated Lizard, and ended up here. Right. Okay. Okay, Inhasa. Hi. Hello. This is the eternal kingdom of Zeal, where dreams can come true. But at what price? long as that price is not a burning tongue. Welcome to Inhasa in the magical kingdom of Zeal. We find truth in the bliss of sleep. Dear me, and who might you be? Oh my gosh. I gotta remember how that goes. But I'll check that later. Do that in a minute. What strange visitors? Welcome to Zeal. Is this part of a dream? Queen Zeal rules our magical kingdom. She is without peer. Excuse me, in beauty and greatness. The queen has given us everything. After the king died, she nurtured magic, which has advanced the kingdom. Snore, snore, snore. Excuse me. I'm probably going to be making all kinds of rude and terrible noises. I do apologize about that. That sandwich hit me a little bit harder in all sorts of places that I was not expecting. I am still very much recovering. Are you a book I can... Okay. Am I a butterfly dreaming I'm a man? Or a bowling ball dreaming I'm a plate of sashimi? Never assume what you see and feel is real. Truth exists in dreams, herbal tea, crystals. Do you believe in fate, which means our lives are all predetermined? Well, yes, of course. No such thing as fate. I don't have time for this. I'm gonna say no. You're right, we're the masters of our own destinies. Speaking of which, I believe there may be a doorway of destiny somewhere around here. I can't read that, okay. The city of Kajar, where they study magic, lies on the edge of the western continent. The airship Blackbird is kept there. Hey, what's wrong? You have something to say? What's wrong with him? What a weird kid. The black wind howls. One among you will shortly perish. Hey, explain yourself. What? Out of the blue like that? Wolf, this is kind of creepy. It's only a bad joke. It's unscientific. I wonder what's inside the North Palace. I bet there's a key to it in the palace, but entry is strictly forbidden. The Queen's Palace is at the center of Zeal. From there, she protects the entire world. That's why we can sleep our days away. This is a spring of recovery. Heal your mind and body here. I know we get the answer to this later. I can always come back here, but I want to figure it out now if I can. Oh, hello again. I'm Doreen. Seek the hidden path and open the doors of knowledge, each in turn. The Queen has sealed the elemental weapons in the North Palace. You can see its entrance on the northern continent, but no one is allowed there. The door to the North Palace is sealed with a mysterious energy. Even we enlightened ones cannot open it. Welcome, what can I do for you? Oh, we can get full tonics now, nice. How many do I want to get? Let's just get 10. Get more ethers. They're expensive, but... yeah, that'll do. Let's see. I know it's fire... wind makes fire dance. Where does water come into it? I guess... Water makes the wind blow, and then wind makes fire dance? Oh, that was it. Okay, I remembered. Oh. Hang on. The Mystery of Life, Volume 841, Chapter 26. All life begins with new and ends with new. This is the truth. This is my belief, at least for now. The Guru of Reason is gone. Challenge me? No. Oh, okay. Maybe after I've saved. I don't know if we can defeat him. We will see. They're just too far apart. Oh, wait, there we go. This is probably gonna be a terrible idea. Well, they didn't counter it. Yeah. They either do... yeah, there's... They will either do your maximum hit points -1 worth of damage, or they will, I think, do 1 damage, which... not great. Real quick, do that. Yeah, we just need more than 1 hit point here. Yeah, that one did 1 damage. So that would have been the killing blow. Uh-oh. 1 damage. Yep. Oh, they're doing terrible things to us. Okay. Can we please get rid of the 3 of you to make this a little bit less dangerous? Nope, I don't think we're gonna make it. Okay, well there's 3 down. Uh-oh. Now we're in trouble. Okay, 0. Shoot, it's not close enough. Okay, well, 2 at a time, I guess. Oh, down he goes. Yeah, we just need you to not have more one hit point. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I have pills to take, don't I? What that? Don't do one. Okay, good. Hang on. The last one is going to have to just be an all-out attack because they're not close enough to do a whirl attack. One more to go. Hey, SG, welcome in. How you doing today? You missed the exciting sandwich. Oh, he has lightning too. I could have been doing that the whole time and burning through all of his MP. And hello, Frisky. The Excito sandwich. Yeah. So I barely had time to get dinner put together, so I was kind of eating a sandwich right at the start of stream. And it was a spicy chicken patty sandwich that I got from Aldi's. It was the Kirkland? One of those. Kirk something. It was poisoned with fire. Yeah, exactly what Val said. I was kind of suffering. So, you can always go back in the VOD and check that out. But yeah, the first 20 minutes of stream was just me suffering badly. I mean, I do like some spicy things, like General Tso chicken, and I've got some sweet Southern Heat barbecue chips from Lay's. Those are good. This was too much. This was well beyond my tolerance. I don't know if that'll happen. We'll have to see. Yay, we did it. 90 tech points. Can we challenge him again? You're strong. Take this. New... Oh, I think he disappears, doesn't he? Yep. Oops. How close are we? 235, 277, 129. Oh gosh. So, the speed tab. The only reason Keppa's speed is 10 is because of this speed belt and the Taban vest. Normally, if we were to remove those, yeah, 6 speed is kind of miserable. I hate having Kepasagi being locked to a specific set of accessories, so... organized. Make it easier. Okay, so speed will go to you. And magic will go to you. So that should put, yeah, magic 21. Getting on par. Oh, we gotta get JJ some magic up. I should have given that to... Well, we'll find some more here. None of Argok's abilities use magic? I don't think so. I think we don't have to worry about that. And I don't think C79s do either. Why are you equipped with a power scarf? I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, we got the thing. Land bridge. Out into the freezing cold. I don't believe there's nothing there yet. Oh, we probably ought to rest. Find a thing over here, I think. Where's the little resty spot? I know it's around here somewhere. There we are. Okay, I'll go and save real quick. This is the magical city of Kajar. We do experiments for the Queen. Your power differs from ours. In you I sense a strange aura of kindness. Combine the ancient rainbow shell and the sunstone to create incredible weapons and items. But now only the Guru of Life has the skill. Elemental power usage is forbidden. Ah, plants are so content. I wish I could be too. Yes, yes, spring of recovery, blah, blah, blah. Are you water? You are not. That's the sun keep you see on the southern continent. A sunstone, once the source of this world's power, was kept there. But when we began using our new energy source, it was sealed up, just like the North Palace. They claim we don't need the energy of this tired old planet. Oh, you just got the same stuff. Okay, never mind. I've got load shields, but I cannot sell them unless the Queen says it's okay. My, you've got an unusual aura, so you must possess the skill too. It must be very primitive compared to ours. You poor things. Lady, get out of the way. How did we come by our skills? And why do others lack them? Who cares? Okay. Unusual aura, odd way of saying you need a shower. We were just in the recovery spring. We took a bath. Those lacking magic have always lived beneath the clouds as the earthbound ones. After all, they lack what we have. Where's the other book? I'll figure it out in a minute. His only friend other than his sister is that stupid cat. What tempest rages in his head?
Go back? Go back where? Queen Zeal has 2 heirs, Shala and Janus. Shala is an incredible child who has extraordinary magical powers. Being so gifted, she'll breeze through life. Well, that's the fire book. That's the last one on this one. I need a wind... Freaking lady, get out of the way! Oh, there it is. You found something strange. But a black rock is inside. It all began eons ago, when man's ancestors pick up a shard of a strange red rock. Its power, which was beyond human comprehension, cultivated dreams. In turn, love and hate were born. Only time will see how it all ends. You're waiting on a new desk chair to arrive? Your last one was causing you bad leg pain. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, SG. Well, I hope the new one works out a lot better. I tend to sit cross-legged on my seat, so any leg pain is going to be my own fault. Having a good mattress and chair are invaluable. That is true. As someone who upgraded his bed from a 30-year-old piece of shit, maybe 35 years old, it was really old. It was basically all springs and a little bit of padding. And then on top of that, I had about an 8-inch thick memory foam mattress, which really didn't help. Yeah, really bad sleep. I upgraded to a Serta Beauty Rest Black 3rd, or Series 3. There was a Series 4, but it was more expensive, and they didn't have one in that particular shop. Pricey, but I can say that it has been a significantly better experience. It was also the only one of the 3 that felt good. There were 2 that felt fine, that were cheaper, but the one that felt good, I was like, I can afford it. Like, I had the funds for it reserved. I hated spending that much, but yeah, it needed to be done. Anyway, we got a black rock. Why is L and R reversed? Anyway, it invokes the triple attack of Dark Eternal, which we cannot do right now. Hey JJ, how you doing today? JJ is reminding us, if you've not already done so, make sure that you add remove the space to your banned phrases. That'll keep all the bots away. It'll also keep the weirdos like JJ away. But hello JJ, how you doing today? It's good to see you. If you guys are not already following, be sure to follow Jay Johnson. He plays Fall Guys. He was last playing some Roller Coaster Tycoon and making some very explosive water slides. Who knew that water slides could be so dangerous? But JJ found a way. And you know, for that I respect you. You do things that few others can. Yeah, by the way, also... Whoops, I'm not typing. If you aren't already following SG, give him a follow as well. Very late at night, he will sometimes play some car. It's always a fun ride. When you get your new chair. Okay. Okay, now that we've got 2... that means... we can switch over to the mist robe. I heard Shala's powers far exceed those of her mother. Then there's her stepbrother, Janus. He's of royal blood, but he doesn't seem to have a speck of magic. Okay, wait a minute. I never noticed this as a kid. Is it brother or is it stepbrother? And then is it on his mother's side or father's side? I'm a little confused now. Or is this just a mistranslation? I'm working on a tab that will boost magical skill, but my precious products have been disappearing lately. Must be the naughty new that hid them. They love pranks. What can I do? Frisky Gatto been driving IRL car during the summer. Just tried to cheer and say the forbidden 3 words and it didn't work. Surprised Pikachu face. Thank you, Jay Johnson, for the bits. I'm sorry that that didn't work. Yes. A very slick attempt, but the Twitch development team has thought of that. Oops, that's a defective item. Too bad, huh? But it said in Rent text that there is an error. Yeah, it's because it's a banned item. Or it's because it's a banned phrase. It won't let you say it, even with bits. Zeal's advances stem from a new energy source. Its power surpasses that of the elements. The gurus of life, time, and reason live in Zeal. With their skill in their skill and knowledge is supreme. Sorry, I was misreading that. Well, so much for cheering HG with the word threesome. Wait, is that a banned phrase in HG's chat? I heard a strange prophet has come to the palace. I don't know the details, but I heard he has uncanny powers. Hello? Okay. A guru once told me that the Sunstone could store the almost infinite energy of our sun. But if its energy were used up, it would lose its glow and change into a moonstone. Yeah, I'm guessing she has a very good reason. No, that wouldn't be by default. She explained it has to do with whenever she's on the front page or something, it made perfect sense at the time. I wonder what game she was playing. Somebody must have done something to provoke that, because that doesn't sound like something that you would just do preemptively. Oops, I didn't mean to talk to you again. Did you know a moonstone can be recharged if you leave it in the sun? But it takes eons, so it's unlikely for us to see that gorgeous glow again. Water summons wind. Wind makes fire dance. Okay, that's what I was looking for, but I remembered it. There was a pre-canned list of words that was recommended, so she went with that list just to be safe. Ah, okay. I see. Look, I thought this new talked to me. Are you not gonna talk to me? Fine. I thought he wanted a back scratch or something. Maybe it's a different new. I don't remember. Now, is that a list that, like, she had to put all that in there manually herself? Or was there something that she was able to do to just turn that on? Who are you guys? Everything's okay with the Blackbird? Everything's A-okay, Sir Dalton. Of course it is, you idiot. Hey, you, what are you doing there? Aha, it was true then. You're the ones the prophet said would come and cause trouble. Let's see how you handle this situation. I didn't think they'd make it so easy on me, ha! I think there was supposed to be a fight there, and they forgot to code it. You can always just drag and drop words and phrases? Okay, that must have been what it was done then. Oh, by the way, SG, how's everything going with that tree that fell? Was someone able to come out and get it taken care of? This is the Queen's Palace, the center of Zeal Kingdom, which makes this the center of the universe. Oh wait, this is the one guy that wants you want the back scratch, right? Could you scratch my back? Yes. Thanks. You got it. Phew. Phew, thank you. You discovers the new scratch point. Okay. That's what we need. Okay, now we have to go back. It's kind of a convoluted way to get this, but... I didn't go into the other door. Scratch, scratch. Ooh. Scratch, scratch. Ooh. Scratch, scratch. Tee-hee! Got a magic tab. I don't think it'll give us any more. Yeah. You only get one. Let's give that to JJ. Oh, I can only do it to the current party roster? Oh, fine. Hang on. Let me fix that. Now JJ is more magical. Oops. Oh, I gotta go in here. The Ocean Palace lies deep beneath the waves. It's a symbol of the Queen's power. The palace is the source of light which sustains all living things. Queen Zeal the Great. The Earthbound ones are being allowed to work on the construction of the palace. So they do have a purpose after all. Car's more of a pleasure craft at this point in its age. I mean, as long as it still functions. Also, what a horrible thing to say. The Earthbounds are being allowed to work on the construction of the palace? It's like, no, you're kind of forcing them. The construction of the Ocean Palace is behind schedule. Eternal Palace beneath the waves. It'll be a sight to see when it's done. You're not much of a traveler either. Furthest you've been up home is, Sault Ste. Marie? I might be misreading that. I have actually been, I've technically been across the whole country. So I used to live in California, and then I moved all the way to the other side of the country when I was like in 3rd grade. I have lived in Ohio, I've lived in Indianapolis, I've lived in Groton, up in Connecticut. I think that's the furthest I've gone. Furthest east I've gone is Groton. And boy, is that an expensive place to live. Out of the way. Do I miss California? It was too long ago, I don't remember it. We used to have the house that I lived in did have a pool, and I definitely missed the pool. Groton, Groton. It's in Connecticut. It's a military. So my buddy that I used to live with, his husband was in the Navy, and when I had some issues in Columbus, he came and picked me up, and he had me live with him there for a bit. But then his husband got out of the military, and they were going to move, and I had lost my job because it was a terrible place, and I had to quit for my own mental health. And I was not able to find work, so he was sort of like, let's kind of figure out what you want to do, because they were going to move, and they didn't want to leave me in a place where potentially, if I couldn't find work, I would have been homeless. So I was like, all right, just take me back to where my family is, I guess, and that's what he did, so, and I've been there since. Oh, like Sue, okay. You only went to see it with your dad, you didn't go on a boat or fish or anything, you could see Canada from there. There's no sparklies in here. How disappointing. Kayaking is a thing. We actually have some kayaking up around the forest near here. Or canoeing, not kayaking. Canoeing. That man's a newcomer, but his accurate prophecies earned the Queen's trust. He's a drifter, not one of us enlightened ones, nor of the earthbound ones either. I'm not talking to you, I'm trying to talk to this book. Excuse me, sir? Could you move? Okay, the book doesn't want to talk to me. Did you know that Balthazar, the Guru of Reason, has secret rooms in Lhasa and Qajar? Yes, I found them. Ask the Queen or the Gurus if you want to know about the Mammon Machine and the Ocean Palace. Just between us, she probably won't give you the time of day. Your brother went kayaking in Detroit, the Detroit River. Is it a clean river? The Queen's aide, Dalton, was in charge of the Ocean Palace until some traveling prophet took over. He's in a bad mood, and you should probably avoid him. Or so you should probably avoid him. The completion of the Ocean Palace will allow zeal to last forever. And there will be no fear or sadness, just eternal peace. Which is kind of creepy in a way if you think about it. Did you give Canada the finger? And you did, okay. That sounds like JJ. That sounds like JJ to me. The Queen must have borne pain and sorrow in silence. No pain, no gain. Zeal, too, was born out of much sacrifice and work. Hey, Wolf. Welcome in. How you doing today? It's good to see you. This will take you to the bedroom. Okay, that's nice. This connects to the Queen's Hall. The Earth is alive, and it has changed over the eons, from flatlands into mountains, from mountains into oceans. You may find the way, that is, if you could pass eons of times at the Forbidden Palace with a sun key. Doing okay, just got done with a monthly meeting. Right on. Well, I hope that everything went well. I'm doing alright. Had a little bit of a compressed work day, but I want to say that I'm on pace. Just didn't do the stuff that I wanted to get done. It's like in California. Hey, bro, don't call me bro. I'm not your brother. This leads to the Hall of the Mammon Machine. Okay. The prophet's aura is full of hatred and sorrow. He'll destroy himself and those he loves. Beyond is the Hall of the Mammon Machine. The incredible energy of Lavos pervades it. The Mammon Machine? You came to see it? No. Oh, but you must feel them. The last of the great Lavos' emanations. Okay, well, if we say yes. I thought so. Feel the flow of the mighty Lavos' power. Oh, I feel faint. Oops, I forgot to mark that I took my pills, so let's do that now. Oh, and I already marked that. Dismiss and clear. My sister bought a game and I forgot that I already marked it in my bank book. Excuse me. Even Balthazar is gone after designing the Blackbird and the Ocean Palace. How strange that the three gurus who guide Zeal have all disappeared. They say that Gaspar, the Guru of Time, continues his work on some deserted island. He's making a Chrono Trigger or Time Egg or something, but no one has seen him for ages. They said the thing, they dropped the title. The Wandering Prophet is amazing. All of his prophecies have come true. It's as if he knows the future. How eerie. The source of our energy lies deep below the sea. Now that its exact location has been found, the Ocean Palace will be built. Use the Queen's Hall to get to the Ocean Palace, which is under construction. My, what strange clothes! You must be travelers from afar? Use the Spring of Recovery to recuperate from your journey. Visitors, do you like plants? Why, yes we do. Oh, you're just like me. But the Queen ordered me to burn this sapling I received from the Guru of Life. He said it was a magical sapling with powers to cure the environment. What shall I do? Secretly plant it. You're right. Even if it is the Queen's command, the Guru of Life gave it to me. I can't burn it. I'm going to grow it with love. Someday, it may save the environment. You don't like plants? Spies or liars? This is the Queen's Palace. Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. We didn't talk to you. Beings that are born of dreams must return to them. The power of Lavos can make hopes and dreams come true. I want to be the wind, Maza. Oh, you will someday. Big Sister Doreen's and in Hasa again. Yeah, that's because she likes dreams. I like the wind better. Whoosh! It's more, honestly, I didn't get it, Frisky. Like, spies or liars? Is a spy a kind of plant? I wonder how Old Man Milkwire is. Humans are so odd. Okay, never mind. You can explain the joke, it's okay. It's entirely on me. It's a bad joke anyway. No one may enter while the Queen is away at the Ocean Palace. To open the door from outside, an item like Shala's pendant is needed to break the seal. Plants is a person, plant spies. Yeah, I would probably have to look that up. Okay, time for epic music. No, wait, let me go through this room first. Shala's pendant was made from the same red rock as the Mammon machine. A plant in the drug ring branches. Oh, okay. Other kind of plant. When she chants, the pendant glows. Shala! Oh, you're back, Janice. Is something wrong? The black wind. You feel it too? Don't worry, it'll be alright. Now, hold on to this. What is it? It's a kind of amulet. If something should happen, it'll protect you. I wish I could be with you always, but Mother has other plans. She's not our mother. She looks like Mother, but inside she is changed. Still, I can't. Janice, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Highness. The Queen asks for your immediate presence at the Ocean Palace. Alright. Well, Janice, I'll be going. Oh, who might you be? Miss Charlotte, please hurry. If you're late, I'll be punished. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Don't waste your time. Alphador only likes me. Go away. I should probably just use these. 40. Let's make JJ a little bit more buff. Okay, never mind. I'll do it later. Blurt, wrong way. Thank you for the refreshment, Wolf. I'm gonna refund you on the snack, because I do not have a snack that I can eat. How do I refund that? Where is that? Where is that? Do I not have the buttons for that? Oh, for crying out loud. Have some air bites. So, Wolf, you kind of missed it at the beginning of stream. I had a very spicy sandwich. A very spicy sandwich. And let's... How do I refund that? Is it reject? Oh, refund points back. Okay, so we'll do that. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, I refunded the one from 5 months ago? That's not what I meant to do? Oh, well, you got double the points back because I screwed up. Don't mind me. I just don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, thank you for the refreshment. But yeah, I definitely needed refreshment at the start of stream. Yeah, I had a very compressed amount of time to get dinner ready. So I was kind of eating it at the start of stream. And it was a spicy chicken sandwich from Aldi's. And I was expecting, like, maybe the breading to be a little bit spicy. And oh boy, was it not. Like, the meat was spicy colored. And Val was here at the beginning, urging me on, encouraging me. I wish they hadn't. It was a painful sandwich. It was a very painful sandwich. Legend tells of a sandwich made entirely of spice. This may have come from that sandwich's lineage, SG. And Frisky, no worries. Hope you enjoy your away step. Hope that all is well. But yeah, the first like 25 minutes of stream were just me suffering a sandwich. What did they add? Ghost pepper? I don't know. It's just, I think they just infused every single part of that chicken patty with spice. Just as we thought, it won't budge. And there's something to this pendant. Let's go here. This is the source of Zeal's strength, the Mammon Machine. It draws and magnifies the infinite power of Lavos. And that pendant, it looks like Shala's. I was the Ghostbuster. I don't even know if it was Ghost Pepper. When she chants to the Mammon Machine, the pendant glows, as if they were in union. If the Mammon Machine is moved to the Ocean Palace, we can extract even more energy from Lavos. The ultimate dream of eternal youth and life is now possible. You got the theme song in your head. Oh, Almighty Queen, our kingdom of Zeal will reign forever. When the Mammon Machine was finished, the Queen changed almost overnight. Just between us, I heard that anyone who opposes her, and not just the Earthbound ones, vanishes. Melchior, who opposed the Queen's plans, has vanished. You're not thinking what I am, are you? Well, I think so, Brain, but with me and Pippi Longstocking, what would the kids look like? But whatever they look like, I'm sure they'll be loved. Magic strong enough to control the extraction of energy is needed to control the Mammon Machine. The 3 gurus made the Mammon Machine from the royal family's red rock. Melchior, who has studied much about Lavos, was in charge of the plans, but then he disappeared. Yay, we did it! Yeah, even a door of this caliber can't keep science at bay. I mean, technically it's magic, not science, but sure, let's go with that. Can I squeeze through? No, you're... okay. I just want to save before I go through the next stuff. Oh. No one may enter while the Queen is away at the Ocean Palace. What? I'm sorry. First, we're not trying to enter, we're trying to leave. Okay. Alright. I'm sure it's fine. Gee, that's a weird choice. I guess they don't want us going back and opening up, like, chests or doing other things. Like, there might be a sequence break in there somewhere. Who are you? How did you... Drop my controller. How did you get in here? Your Majesty, they are the evildoers I warned you of. How dare you think you could oppose me, you foreigners? You're worse than the gurus. Fools. Dalton, take them away. Yes, ma'am. By your leave? Golem! And I think it's okay for us to lose this battle because... Copies physics. Yeah. Yeah. Die, monsters. You don't belong here. No, we're the monsters. We don't belong there. Yeah, that's way too much damage to absorb. Now, it is possible to endure this, but I don't know if you can endure it, like, right at a first playthrough. New Game Plus. It would be kind of needed. In fact, I want to say that is maybe why... I think maybe that is why they don't let us out, because we could go out and we could get items that will allow us to resist an element, and then we could just use that element against the creature and win. It would still result in this scene playing out normally, but, you know, for the first playthrough, they want to try to keep the sequence as scripted normally, kind of. Anyway, mwahaha, fear not, you won't die. Immediately, that is. But by the time we're through with you, you'll be begging us to end your suffering. What a delicious diversion. Or if we want to go with the whole enemy thing, we could have her put her hand to the back of her face and... Was that evil enough for her? Idiots. What will you do, Shala? Let us rescue them. I think it's useless. Besides, if they escape, you'll be in trouble. Don't worry about me. They just might be able to rescue the gurus. Are you alright? Quickly, escape from the palace. And if you can, please rescue Melchior. He was sent to the Mountain of Woe for opposing the Queen. Please, you have to help him. I'm afraid I can't allow that. Your meddling tires me. You'll just have to disappear. You mustn't. Stop. Okay, I'll spare them. But in return, you will cooperate, Shala. Now, show me how you came here. So you came in through here. There's a freaking insect buzzing around my face. Now, Shala, after I throw them in, I want you to seal the portal shut. No, you can't make me. Obey me. Their lives are at stake. Oh, all right. Please forgive me. Why did the Prophet let us go? The key to defeating Lavos must exist in that period. Wait a minute, I've seen the design on the doors this pendant opens somewhere else. A curious crest is engraved here. Some unknown power keeps it sealed. Let's check it out, Wolf. So I think that's why you can't exit, is because otherwise it would sort of sequence break that little moment. Hey, Rob. Welcome in. How you doing tonight? I hope that you're well. The game's coming along quite well. We just got thrown out of the Magic Kingdom for being unruly. We have 1 hit point left, which is probably not a good thing. We should probably remedy that before we go any further. But yeah, it's good to see you. No more sweet water. Never happened before. Oh. Well, can I sleep? Found strange rock, but feel icky when touched, so throw away. Less monster. Now cold. Less animal, too. Please tell me there's a place we can take a nap. Brr, cold. Arga quit, Chief. Kino nap, Chief. Bright fire, lavos, fall. Get cold now. Did good. Take time. Rest. Done teaching your last class for the week. You're waiting for some Chinese food. Ooh, that sounds quite good. What Chinese food did you order? We were talking about spicy stuff earlier because I had a sandwich that nearly killed me. So the first 25 minutes of stream were just me suffering. But I did talk about how I like General Tso chicken. I don't think anything changed here. Dream Gun, Magma Hand, Eon. Yeah, these are all the same things. Chicken and broccoli and house special soup with different meats. House special soup. Is that different every time, or does that actually have something consistent to it? But that sounds pretty good. Whoops, I bumped them. You know what? It's the same every time. Chicken, pork, shrimp, and assorted veggies. Ah, right on. Yeah, my usual go-to if I go to get Chinese is General Tso chicken, crab rangoons. If I have it in my carb budget, I do like to get chicken lo mein. Those are my favorite things. Would you all excuse me? Need to drool from hearing about food. Do you need a napkin to clean that up a bit with, Wolf? Ah, so you've been to the land of magic. Now that the Pillar of Light is sealed, you'll be needing something that will transport you through time. I recall someone working on such a device. The Wings of Time, I believe he called it. I'm afraid he became a tad psychotic, spending so much of his time doing research. General Tso chicken and steamed dumplings are typically your two favorites, just feeling like something a little lighter tonight. That's understandable. I will say that I usually rank a place, a Chinese restaurant, based on how well they do their General Tso chicken. Because I have had instances where the chicken was like, it just had no spice to it. I've had instances where it was heat but no savory. Different places do it different ways, I guess. But I like mine with some heat and with some savory. Sometimes it's a little bit like too vinegar heavy, sometimes it's too soy heavy. I guess it just depends. Before we go, zipping back and forth. You get Chinese, you get rice noodles with orange or coconut chicken, egg rolls, and dumplings. Nice. In agreement. This isn't your good. Oh, it's not your good restaurant. They're closed on Tuesdays. That's part of the thought process of not getting General Tso. The place is okay, but your go-to is excellent for that. Yeah, I can understand that. Is it just my observation on this one, or just my particular experience? It feels to me like the little hole-in-the-wall type Chinese places are the best place to get a good General Tso chicken. It's like they're always the little restaurants and strip malls. Sometimes they're a little dingy looking. Like all of the decorations look a little bit worn, that kind of thing. It's been your experience, higher places tend to be too crispy or overcooked or not enough sauce. Yeah, or they just don't have the right flavor to them. That's kind of been my experience. Something is reacting to the pendant. Take it. Nope. We're gonna leave it here. Actually... Yeah, I've gotten some pretty good stuff. Lately, the thing that I get from the Chinese place is, just like their chicken skewers. Just simply because it's, it's a lot easier for me to get a protein boost without my carbs spiking. Is it this side? Yes. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, I am having those sealed chests react to the pendant. And then we're going to leave them sit for about 600 years to sort of think about that for a while. You've been getting Kung Pao quite a bit because the place you usually hasn't updated their... I'm guessing the one they usually do get hasn't updated their lunch special price on it, so it's $3 less? That's amazing. Hopefully they don't remember. We've got that and an extra egg roll. I love it. Okay, it's nothing in here. I don't think there's anything in here. No. Yeah, there's a few places we won't be able to get to quite yet until we have a proper time machine, but... I don't think we can do that part yet. That would be weird if it let us do that part already. Do you have I don't think you do. Do you? No, it's not this house. It's a different house. I'm pretty sure that there is Medina Village. I need to do that. There we go. Okay, never mind. It's this place. You remember starting New Game Plus on this at one point? You gave up after 4 extra endings because you started New Game Plus right after doing a regular playthrough and got tired of it. Yeah, it's just... Back in the day, like when this first came out, great game, but you'd had your fill. I totally get that. These days, the New Game Plus concept, we probably just don't have time as grown-ups, to be honest. But back then, like, I was in my early 20s, late teens when I got this game. I'd graduated from high school, and basically I just played a lot of video games, so I had no problems playing this game over and over and over again as New Game Plus. I didn't have everything maxed, but I had pretty high-level characters. Let's see if we can do this without getting completely obliterated. Mostly I just want the tab that's down here. No, I didn't want to. Can I run away from this battle? Yep, okay, good. Because I'm trying to get to the chest. Got a lapis. You wish you had gotten RPGs as a kid, mostly just played Madden, football, and Sonic. RPGs weren't on your radar. I can understand that. So, here's the story of me and RPGs. After I grab this. Oh, an Aeon suit. Okay. So, I had RPGs before the decision was made to focus on them. I had gotten Dragon Warrior, when I had gotten when Nintendo Power did that whole thing where it's like get Nintendo Power subscription and a free game. I got that in the mail and Mom was like, yeah, okay, sure. So we had Nintendo Power for a really long time after that. I had rented Final Fantasy, and I eventually got my own copy of that. So those were my first 2 real RPGs. After the Super Nintendo, excuse me, I had like a mix of things that we rented, things that we got from various stores. You know, Mario, Zelda, just different things here. Secret of Mana was probably kind of closest to RPG-ish. But the game that sort of was the tipping point was actually Super Ghouls and Ghosts. And the reason for that is because I had a subscription to Nintendo Power, I knew how to cheat. I knew how to get to the level select. So, Mom had bought me this game. And back then, they're like, you know, $40 to $60. This was probably a $45 game at the time. And that's, to her, that was a lot of money. Like, this is the kind of person who would not give me a quarter to play arcade games because it's a waste of money. Never mind any kind of, like, fun factor or building of memories or anything like that. That 25 cents is a waste of money, so no, you can't have it to play an arcade game. So $45, $50, that's a lot for a game. So it's the kind of thing where if you're gonna have this, it needs to last. Because I had Nintendo Power and I knew how to do a level select, You know, after playing it normally for a little while, I used the level select, I went to the last level, and I beat the game. And Mom was so pissed off that I'd beaten the game in one day because she spent that money on it, and then she's like, well, why did I spend this? I am never buying you Nintendo games again. So I kind of had to explain to her that, no, I didn't beat it legitimately. I just beat the last boss. I still have, like, all of the game to get through. I just wanted to see what the ending was. And I don't think that I've ever beat it legitimately. Like, I can get on the second loop to the second to last boss, but the shield weapon, the bracelet is it's just too short range, and I get hit and I just screw it up. I'd have to watch some speedrunners and people like Dot play it, because they actually know how to play it. Not only do they know how to play it legitimately, they know how to beat it deathless, which is absolutely amazing. That's something I'm not going to be capable of ever. So yeah. After that, I realized if I want to get a game that is the most bang for my buck, I better switch to RPGs. So that's where I started getting games like Secret of Mana, Final Fantasy III, or 6 now, and Chrono Trigger. So that is how I got into RPGs. I mean, I'd always been into RPGs to some degree. I rented Dragon Warrior 4 so much as a kid. But unfortunately, the store sold it out from under me. Like, I had 2 save files that were just really far in the game, really high level, because I was grinding the King Metal Bubble things, whatever they were called. I don't remember. It's been a while. And then they sold it, and I was so angry at them. But yeah, I kind of realized at that point, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. In fact, I got a copy of Mega Man X2. She was really hesitant to buy that game for me. It was even on sale, and she didn't want to pay for it because she was like, well, this isn't going to be one of those games you beat in one day, is it? And I'm like, no, even if I do, I'll play it again. To have one's own source of disposable income. You got an NES and 20 games for $20 at a garage sale, and you traded most of them in. You had heard Final Fantasy 1 was a good game, so you got that and Mario 3 in return. And they are good games, absolutely. After Final Fantasy 1, you played 6, and then you were hooked onto RPGs. There was a lot in between that you missed. If you haven't already played them, of course, there's the Dragon Warrior series. I would recommend those. I'm not sure how many of those you got a chance to play. But yeah, those are good games to get hooked onto RPGs for sure. But yeah, I kind of had to look at the games that in Nintendo Power it said, this is an 80-hour game. And I'm like, I could probably convince Mom that those are okay to get. Okay. What? You played Dragon Warrior 1, you didn't like it. It is a grind fest. You've been told to play 3 or 4. I would say either, if you're going to stick with the NES, I would actually say 4. It has a chapter format where it kind of introduces characters as you go, which, that's the first time I've ever seen a game do that, and they did it really well. Like, it was very innovative for the time, and it was pretty cool. 3 is good. I have not played, like, I did not play that at the time, but I did play it eventually on an emulator. It's not a bad game, but I would say that there's probably modern iterations that may feel like it's got more quality of life features to it. I don't know about the DS version of Dragon Warrior 4. Did I say Final Fantasy before? I'm sorry if I did. Dragon Warrior 3, Dragon Warrior 4. So Dragon Warrior 3, there's actually a 2D HD remake that I watched All Dragon play. If you're not following him, be sure to give him a follow. He's got a lot of cool stuff he does as well. But, where was I going with this? I don't know about 4 on the DS. I would say if you're just going to do the 8-bit Nintendo, though, go with 4. There's probably better ways to play 3. I don't know if the DS is a better way to play 4. But I enjoyed the NES version of 4 a lot. There's no way I'm ever going to get the original cart again, or have access to the original cart, and that's fine. I'm not terribly concerned about original hardware. My 8-bit Nintendo doesn't work anymore anyway. Where is the freaking tab? There's a tab down here. Oh my god, stop with the battle! Wonder if your brothers play Dragon Warrior 4? Ask them. Do you think they have a copy? Maybe you could play it. Okay, do I have to wait to get the tab? Wait, was that it? Hold on. No. There's a... Okay, there must be a flag to turn on that thing, so... Okay, it's fine. Let's give JJ a suit. Let's see. I think that's all I can do here. We'll jump forward in time real quick to get those items. Or as many as we can, because we can't go back to the castle yet. You know they had part 1 because it is in your possession. Yes. A lot of people had Dragon Warrior 1 because of that Nintendo Power thing. It didn't sell as well as they thought it was going to. So they basically had to give it away. It was either that, it was probably going to be another ET fiasco where they put it into a landfill. At least it wouldn't have caused a crash of the video game market, though. They used to own Hideline? Oh, I'm so sorry, Wolf. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Do you need to talk about it? We're here for you. I forgot which house I did the thing in. Oh, it's the inn. I should save, just in case I mess this up. It made you appreciate good games. This box has been in the family for generations. Open it and you may have what's inside. Blue vest, powers up. Found blue mail. So that's what happens after 600 years. Was it here? I don't think it was here. No, it was somewhere else. Nope, that wasn't it either. Is it here? Nope. I know it's around here somewhere. I'll get one of these houses right. Okay, it's the last one. Of course it's the last place I check. they put it upstairs. Yep. White vest power up. Now we got white mail. And with this, the black vest powered up, we got blackmail. No, we've been blackmailed! So the way these work is the vest will absorb 50% of an element's damage. The mail absorbs 100% of the hits. So if you power it up, go forward in time, grab the mail, go back in time, grab the vest, you can outfit your party, and at the very least 2 of your members will be immune to a particular element. Very powerful stuff. True fact, Tidelight was your first bad game you've played. Thankfully, you've experienced the game last out of the games your brothers owned. That's fair. The first... I'm not going to say first. I'm sure there have been other bad ones that I've played. I'm going to say the most standout bad game that I've played is Super Troll Island for the Super Nintendo. I rented that. I rented that and survived. So every so often, when people are doing, what kind of game should I try? And I've already given them good ones, I might give them that. But I'll warn them what they're in for. I'll say, you know, like sometimes LGR? No. Shoot. I can't remember the channel now. You've never heard of it? Be thankful. It ain't great. One-way ticket? Yeah. I hope this goes where I think it's gonna go. Wait, I don't think it's gonna go there. Well, maybe it will? No. No, I don't want... Wait, hang on. Maybe. No. Okay, I think I have to take the ship from here? You looked it up? It's 10 gold to port. No. It's not where I'm trying to go. Alright, I think I have to... Hang on. I think I have to do this a different way. Anyway. Dear me. Wolf, how many times have I told you to keep your pets outside? Madam, I am not a pet. Though I am odd of figure, I am a master swordsman. It talks? I just thought, I mean, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Toad. No, my name is... Yes, dear? Toad will do for now. Gracious, who are you? Me, Argok. Argok, a young lady doesn't dress like that, dear. But Argok like... Say, yes, ma'am. Wolf strong. Wolf mother strong, too. But Mom... Now, I should be able to... I should have probably done this before. So now if I come up here... Let's see. So with blue, white, and black, should be shadow, wind, and water. But we still need red mail. I don't know if I remember where that is. Here's another bad game. Legion, The Legend of Excalibur for PS2. I have not heard of that one. That one, I haven't played PS2 games. Like, I never had a PlayStation, or PlayStation 2, or 3, or 4, or 5. Actually, hold on. Consider myself lucky. Okay, so now we are safe to grab this. Now we got the blue vest. Since we already took the mail. And the thing is, like, this creates a paradox. It's like, how can we have grabbed the blue mail in the future if we just took the blue vest from the past? How does that work? Don't think about it too much, it's just a game. It's a game. Yeah. Gosh, what other bad games have I played? They would have been rentals. Because I don't buy bad games. Actually, no. Have I bought bad games? Do I have a bad game in my library? I'd have to mentally review my library. Hang on. Let me open up. No, not projects. Streaming. Childhood games. You can close that. Let's see. Super Nintendo, I don't have any bad games. There's people who would call Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bad. Oh, no, wait, no, I don't own that one. That's just one I played. Never mind. No, I do own it. When did I get a copy of that? I wonder where I picked that up at. Well, either way, some people would call Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bad, but I had fun with it. Wait, I have a copy of Mickey Mousecapade? Somehow I have a copy of Mickey Mousecapade. I played that at my aunt's restaurant up in the second floor once. I have no idea who owned that. But apparently at some point I got a copy? When did I... I'm gonna have to check. I don't remember even having that when I looked in my box last. Let's see. Game Boy, Tetris, Tamagotchi, Pokemon. None of those are really considered bad, and I don't have any other systems. So yeah. So I don't own any quote-unquote bad games. Maybe some mediocre ones. Well, Mickey Mousecapade, I guess, could be considered bad. At least in my opinion. There are other people who might enjoy it. I don't know. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom I have played, and that's not great. Roadrunner is not great for the NES. Bayou Billy is hard. I don't know that I would strictly call it bad. I have rented Heroes of the Lance. Uh-oh. It's connecting to chat. Why are you connecting to chat? Uh-oh. Hold, please. Well, I disconnected. No, I'm not disconnected from the internet. Hold on. Hold on. I may have lost some network stuff. Can I connect to chat from here? Hold on. How about if we do this on cellular? I seem to be having some network problems. Unable to load chat. I seem to be having some problems with some services. Comma. Bear with me, please. Stream seems fine? Okay. Yeah, I don't have chat on my computer. Oh, okay. Where's that? Oh, no, that's my phone. Okay, so that's great that stream is working. I lost my VTuber avatar because Second Life shut down, and I don't have access to chat. Which is kind of important when you're streaming, because then if you don't have chat, you can't interact with anybody. What is going on? So let me make this so that my screen won't go to sleep. Display, hello? Display brightness. Auto lock, never. Okay. Okay, so I'll be able to see chat on my phone. What the heck is going on, though? I'm trying to prop this up so that I... Okay, that's not working. Oh, it finally reconnected. Okay. I am back in chat. Okay, chat seems to be working. I can see everybody again in this. Let's see if Second Life is working. Let me... Give me one moment, please. Yeah, there must have been just some sort of issue with certain services. That was weird. Discard. Okay. Sit on chair. Shoulders. Wait, are my folders? My shoulders. Okay, my shoulders are fine. Okay, there we go. Turn that back on. Okay, sorry about that. I do not know what happened. Yes, Orc is back. Orc does not have his jaw working. There we go. Gotta turn that back on. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know what happened there, but we're back. Bad games. So I was talking about Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Heroes of the Lance for the 8-bit Nintendo. which is universally panned as a pretty bad game. And I definitely see what they were talking about. Strangely enough, I don't remember having a terrible time with it. I remember it being a really hard game. And I know it took me a couple of rentals to beat it, but I did actually beat it. Yeah. Not the worst game I've ever played, surprisingly enough. Let's see. Eight Eyes. I didn't like it, but I won't call it a bad game. Back to the Future was a bad game. I absolutely do not enjoy that one. Friday the 13th I won't call bad, just difficult. Legend of the Ghost Lion, there's a lot of people that don't like it, and I get it. The battle music is absolutely terrible. If anybody can ROM hack that game and put in different battle music, that would be great. WWF WrestleMania, not great. King's Quest V, I actually have some fond memories, and that's actually the favored version, I think, for Hungry Gorilla. I think she preferred the NES version of King Quest V. Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout. Not a classic, but not terrible. Yeah, that's about it for 8-bit Nintendo. For Super Nintendo, let's see. Roadrunner, kind of a meh game for the Super Nintendo, but not terrible. Clay Fighter I wasn't terribly impressed with. NBA Jam is a sports game. I'm not a big fan of sports games. I only played it because other people liked it. Flintstones, The Treasury of Sierra Madrox. Not actually a terrible game. It sounds like it is because, you know, Flintstones, who cared back then? I'm pretty sure that was a dying IP. Power Rangers was actually a pretty fun game. Super Troll Island, that is the worst game. In fact, my note on my file here says, I regret everything. So yeah, that was a rental, and yep, that is an appropriate note. The Lion King, I wouldn't call that a terrible game, just the one level was just an absolute nightmare. And then Genesis. Fantasia is probably the worst that I played on the Genesis. Rob, I do remember your playthrough of that, and I'm so sorry that you experienced so much frustration. You were very brave. That was about it. Yeah. So out of all of that, I'm going to say Super Troll Island was the absolute worst that I've played. The absolute worst. Yeah, as in Disney's Fantasia, for the Genesis. If Rob is still in, he can talk about his experiences. It sounds familiar. You never played it. Yeah, so it's for the Sega Genesis. I don't know what the story behind it is. I just know that it ain't great. It's kind of a fever dream. Let's see. No, this is not where I want to go. Yeah, I can't get to that period of time. I can't get to that location in... Okay, I can't get there yet. Alright, it's fine. I think that's all that I can do for the moment. We'll figure out who will equip that stuff later. But I got them. Did I get 1, 2, 3? Yeah, I got them. Okay, we're good. Where do we go? We go to the future. Oh, you know what? We could have actually picked up another... Well, we have to go over there anyway. We are going to... go back to the... In fact, hold on. I'm trying to think. Do I have to do... I don't remember. Okay, I do have to do this anyway. So... yeah, we'll go this way. We haven't done this yet. We haven't taken the long way yet. We're probably just gonna run away from all these enemies, though, because they're not gonna give us anything. And there's probably just, like, maybe... there's not really much. There's, like, a chest down there. A race log, okay. I don't know that that was strictly needed, but we got it now. I'm not sure that I understand the physiology of these things. Was that the only thing here? That was the only thing there. Okay. So the Ars Dome should have one door. Right? No, I thought there was a door here. I'm misremembering. Alright, I should not have bothered. Oh well, it's fine. That's gonna be too long, and I've got to take that route again anyway, so... my bad. If I lose... yeah, okay. I don't care about how the race log works. I'll record your 3 fastest times. What? Oh, I can change... mode 1 with turbo boost. Okay, we'll do the short way. I'm not gonna, like, try to win. I actually am gonna try to lose, because I need to know whether or not you can just lose and make it across. Just for my own sake, while it's in the process of losing, let me take care of what's going on in Second Life. I can just... oh, was Argok in here? I must have missed that in the process of all the nonsense going on. Oh, you have to win to go through the... oh, fine. It's not that hard to win. Oh, he did show up? Okay, well, hi, Argok. I'm sorry that I missed you coming in. I had a problem with, some chat shenanigans and Second Life breaking down. I didn't know if I was still streaming. But hello, Argok, if you're still in. I hope that you're doing well.
Oh. Bad timing. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Fine, it's actually faster for me this way because I fucked it up. Can I sneak past you? I can't sneak past you that way. Use it this way. So what I'm doing there, the run timer, like when you're running, you have to hold an L and R for a certain amount of time. The timer will increment while you are in a menu. So you can just go to a menu, hold L and R, and then after a couple of moments you can just get out of the menu and you'll run. It's a speedrun strat, apparently. Okay, so that was a lot of nonsense that I did just now. Because I could have just gone to the forest. Not Medina Village. Lene Square. Or Lena Square, I don't know. I can just mispronounce everything. Lene Square. Maybe the E's are silent. It's Lene Square. Don't touch me. Don't ring your dingling. That sounded naughty. Oh, for fuck's sake. Forgot they did that. They really are gonna make me do this the fucking long way. You're gonna get some sleep? No worries, Wolf. I hope you have a good night's sleep with lots of pleasant dreams, and we will catch you later. Nighty-night. You know, I don't remember whether or not that place is open in 600 AD, and now I'm gonna have to look. Because that's gonna bother me. I'm pretty sure that it's not. In fact, no, it can't be. It can't be. Never mind. And if it is, it's too bad. I'm not trying to be perfectionist on this game anyway. Alright, back to the Protodome. Time to go back once again. Back to the future. To the past. To where we were. Can we sneak around the bottom? Nope. I'd have to watch a speedrun of this. I bet that there's a way to avoid this.
what about down? Nope, down is not it. Oh, you did it anyway, you jerk. I wasn't fast enough with my menuing. I believe it's up here. Yes. Okay, so we can skip that battle. I am certain there's a way to skip those other two battles. I just don't remember what they are. Hang on a second. What? I'm sorry, what? That was weird. That's never happened before. Is it because I'm using speedrun strats? Now I get the "that's never happened before" moment? That was creepy. And hello, C79. How you doing today? It's good to see you. I don't remember where the magic pixel is on this one. I think I have to go on the bottom on that one. It's still a tonic, and I don't care. And, oh, that was right. One of these, you have to do that in order to bypass the fight. But I hope you're doing well, C79. Yeah, I bungled that one up. I despawned the rat. Doing alright, just tired? Well, I hope you're able to get some good rest soon. That's not where I want to go. Where's the exit? There's the exit. Oh my gosh. I don't know where I'm going. Alright. This is one of the two places I needed to go. For a full ether, a gold stud, and a magic tab. Shit, we can't do that yet. Let's see, magic tab, we'll go to JJ. And we're going to give 2 power tabs to JJ as well. Got a charm top, a full ether, and a wallet. Let's see what these do. MPU's cut by 75%. Charm power up. Go ahead and give you that. What's the wallet do again? Turns experience into gold. We're not doing that. Who do we want to give this to? I'm gonna go ahead and give it to C79. Got a power ring. Power plus 6. That's pretty good. Okay. Now that we got that, I believe this route is going to be a little faster. All right. Yes, yes. Hurry, hurry. We got places to be, mutants. Dang it. Hit me anyway. Yeah, I'll have to research where the skip is for those, because I don't know enough about the game to realize that. Alright, now we can go this way. And since we've been through here once already, we can take the shortcut. I think this is the shortcut. Yes, this is the shortcut. The professor's programming was, in a sense, his own eulogy. Soon I, too, will be able to sleep forever. But first, there is one thing I must do. Program error. My memory banks have failed. Huh? To those who opened the door, I am Balthazar, the Guru of Reason. I once lived in the Kingdom of Zeal. A great disaster in Zeal somehow threw me into this era. To my surprise, Lavos exists here, and I suspect in other periods as well. Eons ago, Lavos descended from the heavens. Burrowing deep into the world's core, he began to consume our planet's energy and grow stronger. Lavos disappeared briefly when he was summoned away by a mighty wizard who lived in Guardia in the year 600. In 1999, Lavos claims this area and reigns from high atop Death Peak. Lavos continues to replicate. Like a giant parasite, he is consuming our world. Forced to live here, I continue to conduct research on Lavos, but I am growing old, and it's impossible to keep sane in such trying times. So before I lose it completely, I shall safeguard my data and my ultimate creation. How I long to return home, but I have grown frail. So you who have opened the door, I leave things in your hands. Only by mastering time itself do you stand a chance against Lavos. The odds will be against you, but you are true heroes. There's supposed to be an E in there. The world is in your hands. Open now the last door and take what you find there. My last invention. My wings of time. This must be the invention Balthazar spoke of. Wow, this is amazing. How do you tell the front from the back? Scared you, didn't I? It's me, Balthazar. I copied my memory into this thing. What do you think? Anyway, there's something I need to explain. Namely, how to transcend time. Press the Y button for the time gauge. Then use the L and R buttons to select an era. Oh yeah, before you go, why don't you... name my time machine. So what shall we name the time machine? Hey Val, do you feel that you transcend time? Would you like to be a time machine? Because the alternative is Magus. Do you have a preference? We'll have you lay your claim now. Sure, why not? Okay. Yeah, we've only got 2 more letters, so I think we're just gonna call it Val. Oop. Oh my gosh, really? Hop aboard. Mumble mumble. Take off. Yeek! Traveling at warp speed. Val's capable of this? I really wish I knew how to get rid of that extra space. Maybe this is an older revision. It was fixed in a future revision. I might not have I might have an older ROM. I don't know. Disembark. Interesting, so he actually finished the Wings of Time. In fact, gave his life for it. Why not put that device to good use? Take it to the ancient land of magic. Come see me anytime. Think of me as your guide. Board of the Val?
I wasn't thinking about how that would be phrased. Hang on, I need to take a pill.
We're going to board the Val.
Sure, why not? If I don't choke on my water.
Board the Val? Sure, why not? Where does this put us if we go here? I am curious about one thing. Okay, not where I thought we would go. Actually, I'm going to change the party composition a little bit. These guys need to get a little bit of a boost. This is Algeti, the village of the Earthbound ones. We Earthbound ones lack magical powers. That's why we were banished from Zeal. Many inhabitants of this land were taken, to build the Ocean Palace and were never seen again. Want to buy something? Yes, please. Oh, we don't have nearly enough money. I'm trying to remember. Did I ever have enough money to buy this stuff? Because I don't really remember. How much would this cost? I can get 3 lumen robes. But I think we're just gonna have to make do. We've got other armor anyway. I think 98.89. Hang on. No. It's fine. It's like I'd like to buy an upgrade, but The Queen put the Mammon machine in the Ocean Palace to absorb Lavos' energy. Is that safe? She locked the Guru of Life up on the Mountain of Woe for opposing her. The situation's hopeless. The Guru of Life said that Sir Janus has stronger powers than even Miss Shala. Janus must be using her and the Queen to get to Lavos. Wait, what? You know, maybe that's a mistranslation. I kind of wonder about that statement. Because, like, why would Janus want to get to Lavos? That's Magus. I wonder when Miss Shala's gonna come and play with us. Now only the 3 gurus and Miss Shala treat us as equals. The beast's nest is dangerous. Better stay away, okay? Okay, kid. Spend the night? Sure. Long ago, the enlightened ones and the earthbound ones lived as one. I don't think the game actually goes into what changed. Our hero, the Guru of Life, rejected the Queen's plan, so he was banished to the Mountain of Woe. This hole leads to the Beast's Nest. Through the nest, you'll reach the Place of Chains, which anchors the Mountain of Woe. There's a specific way to go about this, and I don't remember. Oh gosh. Rob, I hope that was a very robust burp, and I hope you enjoyed your chicken and broccoli. Thank you for the Fellspawn summon. Do these guys don't... What do they do to lightning? Attack power up. Whoops, that was a mistake. Okay, they take any damage and they have an attack power up, so... Ow. Okay. That kind of sucks. Let's wait until we've got a little bit more going on here. This one's probably almost dead, doesn't need this, but... There we go. Alright, so we need to do big hits. You probably need to do... Actually, we're gonna wait a second. Do you not have... You do not have... Okay. We're gonna wait till Robo's ready, and then we'll do a triple raid. We'll see if that helps. Oh, okay. Have to be in the active party or it won't let you. Oh, you're not damaged. Actually, shoot. That's fine. Let's see if we can get away with that and just an X strike. Yep, there we go. It's funny watching people play this because it's been so long you don't remember a lot, and as soon as you see something, you're like, oh yeah. Yeah, that's usually how it goes with these. There's a lot that I don't remember about the game. I mean, it's been like 20 years since I really played the heck out of it. And even then, there was lots of stuff I didn't know. Like, there's things that I only learned from watching speedruns of the game. You can't pass through here. Yeah, I might have supposed to have been bringing... I guess we'll see. Real quick, cast water on you. Okay. Don't put him to sleep. Dang it. Do's yours? No, I think we need Argog for that. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Somehow I managed to get down to the bottom of my inventory list. 150 isn't terrible. Oh boy. Don't you do it, you... Okay, good. I was concerned everybody was about to lose their initiative because he fell asleep.
This fight was rough. I can't remember all the details. I don't remember it being super rough, but yeah, it is definitely a little bit on the rougher side. But welcome in, Belgian Waffles. How you doing tonight? It's good to see you. Oops, I did. Okay, good. I did target the right thing. How many hit points do you got? Jeez. There we go, one down. Do want to check something, just to be sure. I'm thinking this absorbs water, but we'll see. Okay, it takes no damage from water, slight difference. This is probably the slowest way to do this. It's probably easier to kill the little goblin up there, but I don't know. Well. Don't you? Those are counters, aren't they?
Okay, those are counters. I've been stupid the whole time. Yay, missed. You jerk. Well, I guess that might wake him up. Okay, let's see if I should have been doing this the whole time. Okay, 60 damage is not that much. What about magic? Meh. And it counters with a heal, so... Okay. Well, that woke him up. Okay, he should run away now, I think. Oh, maybe not. I thought he ran away at this point. There we go, now his defense is down. And we're done. I thought it gave me a save thingy. Fine, I'll go save after that battle. Thank you for the GGs. Take a nap. Yeah, I couldn't remember all the details to that fight. I'm certain that the speedrun can handle that with a lot more elegance, but that's not something that I've really memorized. Like, I just pick up little bits and pieces. Please don't let these things have respawn. Okay, good. That was a single fight only. Okay, now for the fun part. Oh, a hit. Nope. Nope. We need crits. I think it's gonna run away. We are running out of time. There we go. Thank you, Frog. Or JJ. Oh, not enough. We need more crits. Come on, JJ, no. We need crits. Just a regular hit. Okay, I'll take it. 100 tech points. And I'm gonna save after that. There's not an easy way to save, but those are like one of the best early opportunities to gain tech points. But it's kind of like Metal Slimes, where the chances of actually completing that battle is kind of 50-50. You might get lucky if you get some crits, or it'll just run. And all you can do is just regular attacks. In fact, we have a Berserker band that we could use for that fight. Who is going to have the best crit rate? Probably JJ, because he's got the hero medal, which improves the crit rate of the Mazamune. I think. Oh, okay. Hi, friends. Just random visitors saying hello. That was rude. When did you people get initiative? Phooey. That's a single target? Okay. Let's do... Okay, well, oh no, we don't want to continue yet. We actually want to go this way. Oh, okay, hi. Let me see something real quick. Okay, fine. What do you guys think of lightning? That knocks you off your purchase, so that's good enough for me. Yeah, JJ's got pretty good crit rate, so... actually, no, he's... If I take the hero medal off of him and give him the Berserker stat, that lowers his crit. I'll have to rethink that strategy. Ow. Slash! Win! We'll put that on both. effects. Do we have more than one of them? We do. We'll see how this goes. Actually, no, we can't do that. Well, there's a hit. There's a crit. Yay, JJ to the rescue. JJ is good at murdering things. Actually... There we go. It's... Do we have anything better equipment-wise for... No, I guess not. Oh well. It'll do. Is there a place for me to save before I go after those? Jerk. I gotta heal those hit points. Actually, why am I having you do this? Oh, I took the gold stud off you. Hang on. There, it's more efficient to do that way. I'll just leave that on him for now. Well, there we go. Okay, now we can go and take that thing. Oh, come on, JJ, crit. There we go. Alright, we need one more good hit. Come on, guys. You can do it. Yes? No, one more good hit. It's almost dead. No. Now let's try that again. Oh, what? You freaking respawned? Well. Okay, well that works. I mean, the attack on the first available frame, so... Come on, crit rate. That's not a crit. There's one. Just need one more. Come on, guys. You can do this. There we go. Nice job. There might be one more. Oh, they don't have that much hit points. Okay. I could have just done a laser spin. That probably would have been fine. $30 tech points is not bad. Let's see. 277. 16? Let's get Argok in here for a sec. Those are the best sounds. Oh, now we got Falcon hit. Okay. That would have been helpful earlier. There should be one more battle up here somewhere. Yep, there it is. Wait, do you not have charm yet? Okay, well you don't need to be wearing the charm top then. That is probably what you learn next, isn't it? Yep. Okay, well, since we don't have charm, we'll take the charm drop off of you and give you the power ring. No, not power scarf. Power ring. Make you buff. And I think we actually do want you for this upcoming battle. So we'll do a quick save. There might, well, I think there's another region. I believe there is another region. Oh, okay, that's why. We kind of do want that, so... yeah. No, not that. There we go. Yay! Oh, dang. Argok's strong. Okay. Now we can move on to the next segment. As soon as I figure out the way. And I want to say there's one more segment after this. Okay, hi. Don't be throwing rocks at us. Stop that. It's rude. I'll give you a light show. Oh, okay. These are all single target, aren't they? It's fine. We'll just slap them. Stop throwing rocks, it's rude. Should be another enemy around here somewhere. Stop popping us. Oh, okay. Gonna have to save again. know what? Screw it. Philly, it's fine. We're just gonna yellow it. Either it happens or it doesn't. I think we just need one good crit, we should be fine. Yes? There we go. Good job, team. We're way far away from learning any new techniques, but we're getting closer. Oh, only 49 needed for that. Okay, 132 for that. 60 needed for charm. Put your regular stuff back on, people. Okay. And what nonsense are you? Oh. He just got confused. This could be a problem. Do you mind? Okay, well, that didn't kill them, so that sucks. Oh. Orcavard Neil, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Let me get out of this information dump real quick. Welcome in, guys. So I was watching you a little bit earlier. Did we finish getting philosophical? And if you guys aren't already doing so, do make sure to follow Orcbard Neil. He plays all sorts of very interesting detective type games. does crosswords on Sundays. And, actually, I meant to ask. So, it was, crosswords and crowbars. And then it was crosswords and, pirates. What comes next on your Sundays? We solve philosophy once and for all until the sequel hook. Oh, the sequel hook. Uh-oh. Yeah, that was an interesting spin on the Ace Detective thing. The whole have a philosophical debate, but in Ace Attorney style. I had not seen that before, and that's a very interesting idea. It was kind of interesting to watch that for a little bit until I had to go. And it looks like you were playing Staffer Case, so I'm guessing that's your paperwork one. Still going to be mostly crowbars, lots more Half-Life games. You were just slotting Monkey Island in there for now. Okay, fair enough. Well then, expect to see some more Half-Life related games from Neil on Sundays. And, all sorts of fun on Tuesdays that are detective in nature. My brain is blanking. I don't know why. Turnabout Tuesdays, that's what it's called. So yeah, be sure to check out Turnabout Tuesdays as well, if you're not hanging out with me. What am I doing? Staffer Case is lots of paperwork. You think you're going to finish it off stream since it's revolving around reading tiny papers that might not work well on stream. Like, very tiny text. Like tiny slips of paper kind of thing. Let's skip you for now. Yeah. Oh, that sounds like it might be a little bit of a headache. Oh, please don't chaos us. Okay, good. Yeah, we're doing a little bit of Chrono Trigger. We are on the Mountain of Woe. Okay, I need to know. Does water hurt you? Because I think water should hurt you. Or I think water shouldn't hurt you, but it does. Okay. Alright, we're good. I was afraid of having having JJ use water. It turns out plants don't like water. Argok has finally learned Charm. Okay. Argok can wear the sexy shirt and start charming creatures. In fact, let's go ahead. We're not gonna go after you yet. We will in a minute. Did I get the thing down here? I'm sorry, my brain is blinking. Okay, I did get the thing down there. Got a big hand? Okay. Now we got Twin Charm and Ice Toss. Big hand, that's not impressive. You've got two of them. I'm guessing that is going to be for, hello? For C79. Yep. Okay. And let us bring JJ back in, I think. Actually, go ahead and grab Berserker and Berserker. Now we can go ahead and go after this. You can do it, team. Yeah, we got one hit. And we just need a crit. Come on, Argok. We need you to crit. We need one more hit then. I think it's gonna run away. Oh! Hey, nice job. And that is all of the rubbles we could have gotten. So that's not bad. That is not bad at all. Whoop. Give you the power ring for this fight. Let's try this. Oh shoot, we got one more area to go. Well, this is fine. Got a time hat. Wait, hold on. Prevents stop and slow. Okay, well that's fine. We should have another battle in here momentarily. Down here somewhere? Oh, there's a tab. And we give the magic tab to JJ. Ooh, okay. Hold on. We're gonna save. It's like, I thought there was another battle, but I guess not. I guess just a couple more items, and then we start climbing this. Ah, 'tis where the Guru of Life remains imprisoned. Wolf, look! Okay, fire. Okay, and then shadow. Well, that's a lot of damage. Oh, wait. Did we not? Oh, shoot. Let me try this again. I forgot something. And it would have gone poorly. And we'll go ahead and give you Ruby Vest, I guess. Actually, no. Give the Black Vest. We're only absorbing one of the attacks, but it's fine. But yeah, the main thing is, I forgot to restore magic points. That's kind of important. Let's try that again. Actually, can I charm these? Okay, well, you know, you tried. I might just have to have JJ take a nap for a little bit until we get these hands taken down. Oh, okay. Might need to try a different technique. Yeah, we need everybody up, unfortunately. He's gonna drop. Okay. Might need to rethink my strategy on this one. Because the Fire Blaster, unfortunately, is kind of wrecking us. Okay, now we need JJ up. We don't have any triple text between these three. Oh, Frog's not, or JJ's not ready. There we go. Yeah, it's just, we're gonna have to hope for the best. Let's see if this helps. Yeah, it's not gonna help a whole lot here. Not Ether. Oh good, it has fewer hit points. Still gonna mid-tonic though. Let's do heal. Yeah, I want to say we're in a slightly better position. Oh, he's at full. Okay, never mind. I thought he had a little bit more maximum hit points, but I was wrong. Should take the hands out. There we go. Alright, now we just need to take care of the head again. There we go. Thank you for the GGs. Old Man Melchior? Thank you for the GGs, Ron. Indeed, I am Melchior. Have we met before? More importantly, can you tell me anything about the Ocean Palace? I see. The Queen is degenerated to that degree. The more energy the Mammon Machine absorbs, the further the Queen degenerates. Her spirit has been stolen by the infamous immortal Lavos. We must flee. The seal has been broken. The mountain will collapse. The mountain of woe is about to crumble. Or Elder, the mountain of woe is about to crumble. Mommy, the mountain's gonna fall. Hope you didn't leave any treasure up there. Lavos sleeps deep underground while consuming the energy of this planet. If the Mammon Machine is brought closer to him, he may awaken. We must hurry before it's too late. Elder, Shala is here. What? Shala's here. Miss Shala, why have you come to such a miserable place? Stop degrading yourselves. We enlightened ones were once the same as you. The only difference is that we are under Lavos' control. What a filthy hovel. Melchior, after the Mountain of Woe fell, I thought I would find you here. Is it safe for you to leave the palace? That no longer matters. The Ocean Palace is now operational. Then all is lost. But without me, the Mammon Machine won't work. I have turned my back on that evil device. I've kept the Skyway open. Hurry! You must stop my mother. Why don't we keep it right there? I feel like this is a little bit of an off translation there. I don't know. Or maybe just Dalton is weird and doesn't know how to make a good entrance. I don't know. Dalton! Tisk, tisk, my dear. Your presence is required elsewhere. Dalton, leave her alone. The geezer speaks. Silence, old man. Arg. Yo, come to the Ocean Palace with me. Do anything funny in Shala's dust. Got it? Shala's dust? Okay. Shala. The Queen's children all seem to have a problem with authority, don't they? Stay back. The life of this woman means nothing to me. Yeah, that's basically going to be a bluff here, because if anything happens to her, then the Mammon Machine won't work, and I'm pretty sure the Queen will rip his head off. Shall we get going, Shala, dear? Your mother waits. Old man, okay? I'm alright. But we must save Shala, or else... Impossible, even though it's coming from you, Melchior. If the Queen is allowed to fulfill her scheme, all life as we know it is doomed. You're willing to challenge the Queen? You've done so much for us, and I don't even know your names. Worry not thine head, thou hast fixed the Mazamune. What are you talking about? Wolf, we go now. Wait, take this with you. It's made from the same red stone as the Mammon machine. With it, you can destroy the machine. Okay. Shala's been abducted, but without sorcery, we can't do a thing. How much money do we have? Not really that much. Let's take a nap. Nope. Is Miss Shala alive? Oops, I didn't want to do that. This is not the Skyway. Nice to know that she unsealed this, though. Excuse me. Actually, no, let's do real quick. Interesting. Oh, okay, we already heard this. Let's see, I don't believe there's anything else we can do here. Yeah, this is just there, yeah. Alright, let's see. What party composition are we going to want for this? Let's bring... let's see. I think we'll go with Corgi and Arbok. But... it is pretty close to midnight, which is about when I usually want to wrap up. So, we will do the next part next week. Let us see. Is anybody we can go ahead and say hello to? Oh, it looks like Sappho Quail is playing some Tales of Fantasia. Which is another Super Nintendo game. Although, I don't know if they're... Okay, it looks like they're playing a different version? Check some here. Yeah, we'll go and say hello. Alright. So yeah, we'll go say hello, we'll go watch a little bit of Tales of Fantasia. And that'll do it for tonight. So I do want to thank Orcabard Neil for the raid. I do want to thank each and every one of you for popping in, saying hello, keeping me company, that kind of thing. But as we wrap up, I do want to remind all of you that you matter, you are important, you are cherished, and you are missed when you're not around. You deserve to be you. You can conquer the challenges that come your way. Have courage, be strong, and until next time, take care. Bye for now. Oh, and JJ, thank you for the bits earlier as well.